from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
We'll take a look at that, the college football playoff. We're taking a look as we are learning more details about what the national championship will look like here in Vegas. That presser is going on right now as we tape this show at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go check in with Kevin Bollinger, who is on site in just a little
I would just like
bit.
to say we are on the West Coast. No. So.
Yes. I am from Philadelphia.
I just don't know if you think we're home or not. Which is fine.
I need a wellness check.
No,
Passover
that's okay.
and the lack of bread is getting to me. That's
Classic.
what happens when you can only have unleavened food. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Davis. This is Silver State Sports Kinda Live.
Kinda live, yeah. No, let's blame it on Moses, of course.
Yes,
and I'm Mariah Janos. Never a dull moment here in this city as we just saw that national championship stage getting set. But coming up on today's show, we're reacting to the news that Fernando Mendoza will not be attending the NFL draft. Plus, the Desert Dogs will be joining us in studio. But let's start on the ice because it's game day for the Vegas Golden Knights, and every point matters right now.
Yes, the Knights are 3-0 under newly appointed head coach John Tortorella. Can they extend the streak to 4? We're going to find out tonight in Vancouver. The team has found some life as of late. Is it correlated to the change, though, in the bench boss?
Yeah, so let's take a look at the updated standings here. The race to the playoffs within the Pacific Division is tight. The Oilers and Ducks with 87 points each at the top. The Knights right there with 86. And then the Kings creeping in there 3 points behind them.
Yeah, so we're going to bring in right now our resident hockey guy, Vince Sapienza, to break this all down. Vince, thanks for joining us here. It's the West Coast, not the East Coast.
Good to know.
Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad I tuned in.
Okay, good. So, Vince, they fired Bruce Cassidy on March 29th. Let's get into it. Then they immediately reeled off 3 straight wins. How responsible is Tortorella for this change?
I'm going to say 80% responsible for this 3-0 start. Obviously, those 2 wins against Vancouver and Calgary, those are 2 of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. Those are 2 games the Golden Knights needed to win regardless of who was behind the bench. However, there is a noticeable change in how the Golden Knights are playing of late, and we've heard one word as a buzzword over and over and over again with John Tortorella, and that is mindset. That is playing fast. That is going north and south, and that is one thing that we hear a lot, especially in hockey, playing north and south. That's always what you want to do. You never really see it all the time, especially when you have skilled players like the Golden Knights lineup has. That's Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Tomas Hertl, etc., etc. There's a lot of skill. Guys want to make plays. But when you have a guy like John Tortorella, that all he is messaging in and burning into your brain is play north, play fast, and play direct, we have seen that. And it's, you talk about whether the change was necessary or not. If you're the Golden Knights right now, they've been fighting for a playoff spot. And you can say right now, a 3-0 start right now is obviously a help. Those standings, as you just saw, very incredibly tight. The Golden Knights have a chance to win this division, but at the same time, you look behind them, the LA Kings getting 2 points against the Nashville Predators last night are creeping up behind them. So there's no resting on your laurels. But when you look at this Golden Knights team, guys, and I want to explain this in a way, you see Mitch Marner really excelling, right? Yeah. And that's a guy that plays fast all the time. His brain is like a computer, right? It's processing everything. You see the plays making. Jack Eichel, a little slow out of the gate. Why is that? It's because Jack Eichel likes to play that half-court offense. And when you have John Tortorella saying, play fast, play fast, play fast, it's a little different for Eichel. So now you're seeing him bounce around all around the ice, something he wasn't normally doing before. He was kind of stuck to that wall. So you see Eichel kind of slowly but surely finding that extra gear. Why Mitch Marner, having a 5-point night the other night, has really excelled from the get-go, because that mindset, that style of play where it's run and gun is really paying off for a guy like Mitch Marner.
Well, in addition to the mindset change, there's also been a change in the goaltending the last couple games. You've been saying for a while now that you think Carter Hart would play when it came to the playoffs. Are you still of that opinion after these last 2 starts? And obviously John Tortorella going to a player he is familiar with there.
In Vegas, we're going to double down. I'm doubling down on Carter Hart being the starter number 1 if and when the Golden Knights make it to the Stanley Cup playoffs. One, the John Tortorella effect is very much real. Carter Hart, in getting back to the NHL, going through what he went through, he talked about very openly how he leaned on a bunch of guys. John Tortorella was one of them. And so the fact that he is now his head coach, and the fact that he didn't even have a single practice, full practice with the team, and he was thrown into the starter's net over Aiden Hill. It's twofold. It's one, it's John Tortorella's belief in Carter Hart, who played for him very, very well in Philadelphia. Yeah. The other part is Aiden Hill. He did not do enough to keep the net. He was not available when he needed to be, and he was not reliable enough when he was in the net. The Golden Knights need to get somebody more reps, more starts. Right now, Carter Hart is the front runner in that position, which makes me even more confident that he is going to be day one starter come postseason.
All right, so Vince, tonight, looking ahead, Vancouver, they're facing the worst team in the NHL. Mm-hmm. I'm a little worried. Could this be one of those trap games where, they don't pull out the win?
Yeah, especially when, if you look ahead too far to Saturday, you got a big game with the Colorado Avalanche, and who knows what's going to be at stake for Colorado come Saturday in terms of what's on the line for them. But this is a massive game for the Golden Knights. There's no opportunity to say, hey, let's wait till Thursday. Let's really rest our guys. No, you need the points. Every point is crucial at this point, and I think what we saw in that Edmonton game that you're looking at right now, the Golden Knights flat out dominated the Oilers in a massive, massive game that could be a preview at some point in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Golden Knights really sat there and said, this is who we are now. They have to carry that over. Otherwise, that game is meaningless because the points are at a premium.
All right, Vince, well, we're going to need you to stick around, hang tight. We're going to pepper you with a lot more questions, but still to come on Silver State Sports Live. We're heading out to Allegiant Stadium, where our Kevin Bollinger is standing by with the latest from the National Championship press conference.
Plus, it's official. Fernando Mendoza will not be attending the NFL Draft in Pittsburgh. We're giving our thoughts next.
This week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Your Triple SEN lineup is sponsored by AAA Roadside Assistance. Visit AAA today.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, so big news about NFL Draft Day. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that projected #1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, is opting to not attend the draft. Instead, the Heisman Trophy winner is planning to share the experience at home in Miami with family. Now, it's unusual, but not unheard of, as former #1 picks Trayvon Walker, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, and Myles Garrett all chose to spend the draft away from the event. So let's bring in Vince to talk some more Raiders. Vince, what's your reaction to this? Should Raider Nation be bummed out that Mendoza won't be celebrating the draft in Pittsburgh on the stage with Roger Goodell?
Absolutely not.
Really?
0% anger should be had by Raider Nation right now. Why? He's going to be in Henderson on Friday morning for his press conference, and that's all that matters. As long as Fernando Mendoza is in silver and black come Friday morning at the facility in Henderson, nothing else matters. Obviously, is this a bit of a swing and a miss for the NFL to get those social moments, to get that big dap up with Raj up on the stage in Pittsburgh, PA?
Raj.
Of course it is. It's a miss, but it tells you even more about the person and the player the Raiders are getting. This is a family man, and this is not somebody who just talks about it. He is about it. And so let's not pretend like we're not going to have 10,000 4K cameras located inside the Mendoza home to get every single part of the reaction. Sure. So we're still going to get, that grade A smile, that $100 smile from Fernando Mendoza. But the most important thing is that he is here in Raider Nation, in Henderson, getting ready to get to work with his new team.
Yeah, I mean, the only person or people really bummed out, probably the media. People like us who just want to get a chance to talk to the boy. But that's okay. We'll have our opportunity down the line. But today, Mendoza did make a trip. Mm-hmm. He's visiting with the Raiders at the facility in Henderson. What are you hearing about this visit?
Well, I'm heard it's a massive day inside the facility, obviously. I mean, the magnitude of Fernando Mendoza, the face of your franchise, QB1 being in your building is nothing to shake a stick at, especially when, coincidentally, it's day one, phase one of the offseason program. Obviously, the 9-week voluntary program where players on the roster are allowed to strengthen condition, continue their rehab, as well as have meetings with their coaches. Now, I don't want to say there's any bending or breaking of the rules, but if an iPad were to slip in Fernando's backpack, just on his, if he were to slip in a meeting, maybe Kirko Chains is up on the board, writing something, he happens to catch it. That won't hurt
Fernando
anybody.
is a by-the-book guy. This is a guy, he doesn't jaywalk.
I'm not saying he broke the rules.
True.
I'm just saying if somebody puts him in a room, Kirk happens to be there, the door locks behind him, what's Fernando to do?
Okay, all right, I see where you're going. Let me ask you this, Vince. Kirk Cousins, Fernando Mendoza, what are you hearing on the way they're gelling, meshing, the friendship that's brewing there? I'm hoping it's going to be like John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell and Stepra. I want them,
bunk beds and everything?
Bunk beds,
Karate?
samurai swords, slicing watermelons. What's happening?
Well, I don't know if any of that is taking place just yet,
Okay.
but obviously that is going to be a relationship that we're going to be keeping an eye on throughout the entirety of this entire process, because when you look at what the Raiders want to do, we heard from John Spytek, we heard from head coach Clint Kubiak, and in an ideal world for them, Fernando Mendoza is not starting right away. They are having a veteran command, a veteran presence, starting the season so that Fernando is not relied upon. Again, this is the most important asset for the Raiders in 2+ decades. And so keeping him at a premium, making sure that he is not just cooked to perfection, dare I say overcooked, over-ready, so that when he does take the reins, he's not looking back, he's moving forward. So when we talk about this relationship, Kirk Cousins had his best years in Minnesota when Clint Kubiak was there in the fold. That's not me saying that, that is Kirk Cousins himself saying that. So when you talk about how important this is, it's less about is Fernando going to be ready, it's Kirk Cousins being able to help communicate, help learn that language of Clint Kubiak's offense, the concepts of the West Coast offense, that wide nine run blocking scheme and things of that nature. So the Kirk Cousins signing is massive. I think this goes a long way for Fernando and really the rest of the offense, because as much as we are hyper-focused on Fernando, think of how young the offense in totality is. Kirk Cousins is going to help that group get online quick, fast, and in a hurry so that when Fernando gets online, they're already running.
Well, you mentioned Kirk Cousins. We've got a little video that we need to show. Roll the tape. It is too good. Raiders socials had some fun announcing new free agent addition Kirk Cousins, who got a massive 5-year, $172 million contract, guaranteeing $20 million in 2026. Cousins, who's arriving from Atlanta, had this throwback moment from his Minnesota days that went viral when he beat his former team, Washington, on the road as he put on Justin Jefferson's iced out chains in the team plane. Raider Nation, you like that. You gotta like that, right?
He's swaggy. He really is. For a guy who you wouldn't think is filled with swag, he actually possesses some.
It just makes it that much better.
I can't wait to see this brewing friendship between him and Mendoza.
And as fun as that is, right? Like that is a good time. It also tells you a lot of how he is viewed inside that locker room, right? And that is something Fernando Mendoza can look up to, and something that we have heard about the entire process of Fernando Mendoza, how much his teammates love him, care about him. There was something referenced during his pro day. There was a 3rd and 15 against Iowa. He runs for 14, gets shellacked on the sideline, doesn't pick up the first down, but the reaction from the entire sideline comes to his aid. It talks about what a teammate he is, and so there's a lot for Fernando to learn from a Kirko Chains, and I cannot wait till Fernando gets his chain.
I can see that
bestowed
happening.
upon by Kirk Cousins.
And Fernando posted his own picture today, too, celebrating with some teammates. So we already know he's a well-liked guy. All right, Vince, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
Meanwhile, the A's are in New York this week for a 3-game series with the Yankees, then with the Mets, the green and gold coming off their first series win of the year at home versus the Astros. Athletics, they were given a pretty tough schedule by the league. First 2 series in Toronto, then Atlanta before flying back to Sacramento for 1 series with Houston, and now they got to go all the way back to the East Coast, where I think I am currently in my mind, and play 2 teams from New York. It's going to be a pretty crazy season schedule for this team. No favors done by the MLB.
And stick around, we got the Desert Dogs coming into studio to talk about their final stretch of the season. You don't want to miss it.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
The playoff push is on. With 3 games left in the regular season, the Desert Dogs are in control of their own destiny as our guys try to make the playoffs for the first time in franchise history.
Exciting stuff. So joining us to break down all the excitement is Desert Dogs points leaders forward Mitch Jones and rookie defender Ben Sunin. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. All right, so 3 games left. If you win 2 of them, you're in the playoffs. What's the mindset right now as you enter this final push?
Yeah, 2 of 3. Obviously, 1 at a time is kind of the mindset. We're at a big road trip here going to Philadelphia. So we're gearing up all week for that, and 1 at a time.
Yeah, what about you? As a rookie, what is it like getting into this critical stretch?
It's definitely a new experience for me, especially playing with guys like Mitch Jones, Chris Cloutier, Chase Frazier, and it's been awesome for me. It's been a great experience, and I'm really excited to begin this playoff push and have our own berth.
You told me in the green room that it was crazy. It's almost surreal. You grew up watching some of these guys?
I did, yes. I had a couple of guys coaching me as well along the way, so it's kind of cool being able to play with them now and, yeah, being on the same team as them.
Don't
So I was going to say, do you just feel old, Mitch, at this point?
No, honestly, Ben keeps me feeling young. It's good to have young guys around. I mean, you see the rookies come in. Ben's done an excellent job. I just voted him for Rookie of the Year yesterday.
Oh,
so.
see?
He's doing the right things.
That's lovely. So the final home game, April 18th. I want to know what first of all, the 18th is going to be fan appreciation night, but I want to know what the support has felt like all season. You have one last game at home, but what has the support from the fans looked like this year?
Yeah, the support's been awesome. I mean, it's both of our first years here, but like you said, we're going for a playoff push, first in franchise history, and we felt the support behind us. April 18th is the fan appreciation night, so we're expecting a big crowd there. I know they got lots of plans for our fans, and it happens to be a massive game on the schedule for us as well. We're playing a rival team in San Diego. Like you mentioned, we need 2 of 3, so those are 2 of them at the end there. 1 at a time with Philly, but when we get to that home and home with San Diego, those are going to be massive games for us.
Well, it's interesting because Philly has been that team to beat in years past, but they're now out of playoff contention. You mentioned those back-to-backs against San Diego. You haven't faced them yet this season, which is kind of wild. What's the scout there?
We did get Philly once at home, and I mean, I've played in Philly. We got another guy, Kevin Crowley, spent a lot of years there. They're going to be a dangerous team. They're a little bit lower in the standings than us, but they're kind of a team with nothing to lose right now. Like you said, they're out of playoff contention, and we're on the opposite end of that spectrum where it would kind of have everything to lose. So going to be an interesting matchup there, and looking forward to going back to Philadelphia.
Ben, what about 2 games against San Diego? You haven't played them at all this season, but 2 games back-to-back. What happens when you play a team back-to-back like that? Is that an advantage for you guys or a disadvantage?
Well, I definitely think it's an advantage for us. With the coaching staff that we've had, they've made us they've gotten us in shape very well, and honestly, like, it's more so of a mental game in that second than it is more so physical. So I think it's just we're in a good mental space where we're at right now, and I think we'll be able to push through with the team and come out victorious out of those 2 games.
Now, lastly, what would clinching the playoffs, being part of this moment in history for this newer franchise, mean for each of you?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think he mentioned the coaching staff and just the organization as a whole has really put a lot into getting us in position, and we're honestly right where kind of we expected to be with it in our own hands, and the ability is up to us to win those 2 games. And it being fan appreciation night makes it a little more special. So really looking forward to the last 3 here.
All right, Mitch, Ben, what do you want to say?
100%. I was just going to kind of go off of the fans and say, like, couldn't have done it without them, and they've been a big push throughout this entire season, and it's been awesome to have them at every game, and yeah, just absolutely love our fans and can't do without them.
All right, well, fans, you got to make sure you go cheer on the Desert Dogs for Fan Appreciation Night, Saturday, April 18th. You can just go to LasVegasDesertDogs.com, get those tickets, support these guys as they make a push to the playoffs, the first in franchise history. I can't wait for it to happen. I'm going to put myself out there and say it's going to happen. You guys are going to make it
when it happens.
It's going to happen.
You got to get Lee's Family Forum rocking. All right, thank you guys so much. Now, from the Desert Dogs to the Baseball Dogs, coming up, we're delivering the cutest part of your day, dogs, baseball, hot dogs. It's a true trifecta. Coming up next. All right, so there is the press conference for the national championship coming to town in 2027. It's wrapping up here in just a few moments. We'll have coverage on Fox 5. Kevin will be posted up at Allegiant all afternoon to give us the latest on that. But exciting things to come here in Las Vegas, Mike.
Yeah, stay tuned to Fox 5. We'll have all the updates there you need. And those brown leather chairs, they look super comfortable.
Super
Mariah.
comfy.
Welcome back, though. We're going to talk about some dogs now, right?
Yes, and I wish they were in studio, but we're not allowed to do that. So we're just going to show you some of the dogs that have personally come across my feed. I think it says a lot about my algorithm.
Your
and my
algorithm
interests.
is great. I need to get on that.
It's positive because if it's dogs, it's positive, and some cute clips of dogs at the ballpark, even better. So first up, we've got this doggy here.
Oh my Lord.
Look at him.
In
munching.
Chicago.
Yep.
Wow, for the Mariners game, look at this dog. He's eating the bun, the dog, everything, a glizzy, as all of our cool producers like Wyatt and James would say. I don't say glizzy. But.
Yes. And we have to take it from another angle because, I mean, look at that. The close-up right in his little face. That's what you're going to look like when Passover is done. That's literally
I'm going to look
gonna
worse.
eat.
I think a golden retriever looks better than Mike Davis at this current moment.
That's true. And next up, look at this in tandem.
Oh, now that is cute.
Like, look. Oh, the jerseys, the trot.
If I had those two dogs on my lap on that brown chair that they had at the
what
panel.
A dream. And then the hot dog post Passover. Yep. And then we've got the dogs in the outfield. This is Aaron Judge's dog. I would not peg him for having a dachshund.
Yeah, he seems like a guy who would have like a baby alien.
Yeah.
Not even like a cat or a dog.
Give me like a Doberman. That right there.
Wow.
That is.
It's like Sherlock Holmes as a bulldog.
That was the dog embodiment of our producer, James, the bulldog.
Oh, a Labradoodle or like a Golden Doodle.
Golden Doodle. And then the bat dog for the Aviators doesn't get better than that. My favorite thing about Las Vegas Ballpark. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll do it all over again.